stood there in the doorway while the years slipped through my hands, holding on to pieces of a life we never planned. I kept fighting for the moments that were crumbling in the dust, trying to rebuild a future from the ruins of our trust. You were reaching towards your freedom with a heart already gone, and I was trying to be the reason you might choose to linger on. But loving you was lightning, fast and burning through my skin, and I mistook the sparks for fire I thought would never end. I felt myself get smaller every time you pulled away, but I kept standing, kept believing you'd still want me someday. I stayed until I vanished, until the mirror held a ghost, until I couldn't recognize the man who loved you most. I broke myself in silence just to keep your world from pain, but the more I try to hold you, the more I seem to fade. I stayed until I vanished, until there's nothing left to see, just a shadow standing where my heart used to be.
I watched you lose your color, trying hard to hold me close, and every tear you never cried was the one that hurt me most. I never meant to dim your light or steal your breath away, but even love can turn to quiet when the heart begins to stray. I felt the guilt like thunder underneath my fragile skin, knowing you were breaking gently just to make space for me again. I tried to stay, I tried to grow, but something pulled me out the door, and I hated how your kindness made me hurt you even more.
I didn't see the pieces of yourself you sacrificed, didn't know you'd disappear to keep me satisfied. You stayed until you vanished, until your laughter lost its shine, until the man I once adored was someone standing on a line between devotion and surrender, between holding on and gone. You kept showing up for love, even when love moved on. You stayed until you vanished, and I should have seen the truth, that you were slowly losing everything you gave to me and you.
I shouldn't have kept catching all the pieces meant to fall. I shouldn't have let silence be the thing that built our wall. I wanted to be someone you would fight the world to keep,
but you were someone breaking while I drowned inside too deep.
baby, we were learning how to love ourselves again, even if it meant we had to lose what we had been.
I stayed until I vanished, until the truth burned out the lies, until the tenderness we shared got swallowed by goodbyes. You held on while I was fading, I held on while you withdrew. Two shadows chasing echoes of a love we once knew. I stayed until I vanished, and maybe that's okay. Some stories disappear before they find their ending anyway.
I'll rebuild the parts of me I lost while loving you too long.
And I'll hold the lessons closely as I figure where I belong.
Maybe fading was a doorway to becoming something new.
A chance to find the kind of love we couldn't find in me and you.
I stayed until I vanished, but I'm learning how to rise. Learning that what disappears can still return in different skies.
I stood there in the doorway while the years slipped through my hands, holding on to pieces of a life we never planned. I kept fighting for the moments that were crumbling in the dust, trying to rebuild a future from the ruins of our trust. You were reaching towards your freedom with a heart already gone, and I was trying to be the reason you might choose to linger on. But loving you was lightning, fast and burning through my skin, and I mistook the sparks for fire I thought would never end. I felt myself get smaller every time you pulled away, but I kept standing, kept believing you still want me someday. I stayed until I vanished, until the mirror held a ghost, until I couldn't recognize the man who loved you most. I broke myself in silence just to keep your world from pain, but the more I tried to hold you, the more I seemed to fade. I stayed until I vanished, until there was nothing left to see, just a shadow standing where my heart used to be.
I watch you lose your color, trying hard to hold me close, and every tear you never cried was the one that hurt me most. I never meant to dim your light or steal your breath away, but even love can turn to quiet when the heart begins to stray. I felt the guilt like thunder underneath my fragile skin, knowing you were breaking gently just to make space for me again. I tried to stay, I tried to grow, but something pulled me out the door, and I hated how your kindness made me hurt you even more. I didn't see the pieces of yourself you sacrificed, didn't know you would disappear to keep me satisfied.
You stayed until you vanished, until your laughter lost its shine, until the man I once adored was someone standing on a line between devotion and surrender, between holding on and gone. You kept showing up for love even when love moved on. You stayed until you vanished,
and I should have seen the truth,
that you were slowly losing everything you gave to me and you.
I shouldn't have kept catching all the pieces meant to fall.
I shouldn't have let silence be the thing that built our wall.
I wanted to be someone you would fight the world to keep,
but you were someone breaking while I drowned inside too deep.
Together we were learning how to love ourselves again,
even if it meant we had to lose what we had been. I stayed until I vanished, until the truth burned out the lies, until tenderness we shared got swallowed by goodbyes. You held on while I was fading, I held on while you withdrew. Two shadows chasing echoes of a love we once knew. I stayed until I vanished, and maybe that's okay. Some stories disappear before they find their ending anyway.
I rebuild the parts of me I lost while loving you too long.
And I hold the lessons closely as I figure where I belong.
Maybe fading was the doorway to becoming something new.
A chance to find the kind of love we couldn't find in me and you. I stayed until I vanished, but I'm learning how to ride, learning that what disappears can still return
in different skies.